So today what we're going to do is we're going to work on the halt. And you know, the halt would seem intuitively to be something that's really easy to do, but actually, just like every movement in dressage, there's a method to the madness. And we're going to see a couple of young riders, and we're going to see some horses that are not necessarily easy to do a halt. And probably the biggest problem that we have with most riders is that they assume that the halt is achieved by basically pulling back on the reins. But we know that if we get into the horse's mouth, the reactions are pretty standard. They're going to pop their head up, they're going to brace against it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with a young rider on a Hanoverian mare. The mare is, we'll say 20-ish years old, so she's got some experience, but she also is a little bit opinionated. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the basics, and we're going to see if we can figure out how we can coach this young rider to actually be able to achieve what she wants, which is a basic halt. If we take a close look at Carly's technique, we'll see a few things that might not seem like a big deal, but we'll see some results that are not exactly what we want to achieve. So Carly starts out doing pretty much the right thing. You'll see her tip her body slightly forward. But when Asia doesn't stop, what she does is she braces with her feet, she pulls back on the reins, and she basically tips her body backwards. Let's watch her again. This time she's a little bit more effective, but there's still too much pulling back on the reins. So now what we've done, we've had Lynn get on, who's obviously an accomplished rider, and she's going to tune Asia up, and you'll see the first attempt, not exactly perfect, but now Asia understands that her rider knows what she wants, and you'll see with this next ask, a nice square halt. So the secret really is that when Lynn asks for the halt, she tips her center of gravity slightly forward. She plays a little bit with the bit within the movement of her fingers without pulling her hands backwards to make the horse comfortable, and what we end up with is a nice square halt. Now let's watch Carly apply the techniques that she just learned from Lynn, and we'll let you be the judge of what the results are. So the answer really to our question of how do we get a nice halt is that we have to think about the biomechanics. And the biomechanics are pretty universal around the world. If you want the horse to move faster, you want to tip your center of gravity back. If you want the horse to go slower, you want to tip your center of gravity forward. So Carly, our young rider, was able to achieve the halt, and then Morgan afterwards, after watching Carly and riding on Asia achieve the halt by simply keeping her body nice and straight, using a 3 count more for her so that she can organize herself. She basically tipped her center of gravity forward onto her pelvis, and using a nice breathing, chewing rein, basically close the door and the horse automatically halts.